Alright, welcome to my shop again. Alright, with the exhaust bolted up and properly secured, the easy access that having the clip off afforded is no longer needed. So what we're going to do now in this next phase is going to get put back on this, and then we're going to wake up that 235, go through some procedures to do that, and then when all that's done, I might feel like getting back under there and addressing that leak in the rear end. But at this point, let's get that clip on. Alright, I've decided, since I've still got this real easy access, I'm going to prime up the oil system to get all the surfaces a good coat of oil before I put the clip on. This way I just don't have to work over top the fenders, which, oh well, this is a lot easier. Now, in order to prime up the oil system, I'm going to spin the oil pump, and I'm going to have to remove the distributor to do that. So before we remove the distributor, I'm going to go over a few things, real basic things. You may know it, you may not, and maybe this will be helpful for you. But right now, I'll go over here to the timing mark, and if you look in there, all right, you can see there's a line in there on the flywheel lined up with the pointer. That is the top dead center. To the left of that is the BB, which is actually 2 degrees retarded, or after top dead center. But anyway, we're at top dead center. I'll show you in a moment where both valves are at compression stroke, and this is the #1 plug wire right here coming down, and I've got it marked with a little white dot, and you can see the rotor button is pretty much lined up with it. All right, so what I want to do is put a little mark on that distributor right like that. Okay, that way I'm going to be putting it back in the same position when I go to put it back in. Now, so for all practical purposes, I should be on the firing stroke of the #1 cylinder, all right, and timed up. Now, in order to remove the distributor, I'm loosening this clamp down here, all right. Now that loosens the distributor in the vacuum advance unit, all right. It won't remove the vacuum advance, it'll just remove the distributor. Now, I've already loosened it, so it should pull straight up. And now you notice how the rotor button is turning back. Yeah, let's get that up, all right. So you might keep note of that when you go to put it back in. Oh, guess what? I didn't remove the wire. Be right back. Sorry, I had to get 2 hands on it. So anyway, I got him out. Now remember, there's my black dot on it, and you see where the rotor button is pointing now. That's where we want to get the start. Also, one other thing to pay attention is the bottom of the distributor. You see there's a slot right here. That slot engages in the oil pump, so you want to know where it's pointing. And if you look down there, you should be able to see it's pointing between, I'm going to call it 5 o'clock, all right? So in order for it to engage all the way, it's going to point down to 5 o'clock, all right? So when we're done spinning that oil pump, we'll make sure that that's at that same position back there. Now we're going to remove this, because what I want to do is I want to see oil coming out of the rocker shafts. All right, so let's hook this up. Be right back. All right, I got my drill down in there, and now I'm going to spin it. I'm seeing oil up here at the top end now. I want to see oil weeping out of these rockers. All right, I got oil down here. I want them to come out of these furthest rockers. All right, I got oil all the way back here at the back. I've got oil out of all of the rocker weep holes. That's good. I'll show you. All right, so you can see kind of the fresh oil. It's just, you can't hardly, I might try to do it again. What I want to do is I want to set this up inside the cab, and I want to see, point it at the oil pressure gauge and see that that it's connected good. Also, here, let me get my light. I'm going to make sure we're not leaking here at the oil. Well, the oil gauge connects good, and there's no leak there. All right, where's a good angle? Right there. Okay, well, good deal. Now remember, I had this thing running on my test stand, so I know it runs and doesn't leak, but it's always good to check where you got fresh leaks. All right, I'm going to set this up in the cab. Be right back. All right, I've hooked my gauge up, and I want to see how much oil pressure I'm getting here. That's about 34, 35 PSI. I can live with that. Very good. Very good. All right, let's see what kind of gauge pressure we're getting here. Hopefully it built up some. All right, let's put the distributor back in. I'm satisfied. I got plenty of oil pressure. I've got, I circulated the oil at about 34 PSI all throughout the engine. That should have coated the main bearings, the rod bearings, and the cam bearings. Plus, it distributed oil out each weep hole on every rocker, and I had a good flow coming out the overflow tube up here. So I believe we're good to go on the oil pressures. Now I've just verified that the slide in the oil pump down there is at about 5 o'clock, and when I turn this rotor to the number 1, that's going to put this slot down here at the distributor at about 5 o'clock. So let's drop him down in there, and he should just pop right on in. We'll come over this way, and there he is, right there. All right, I want enough room so when the vacuum advance pulls this, I won't hit that. So we're sitting there. We're all the way down. That's good. That's where I want it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show how I put this on number 1 firing at top dead center. Be right back. All right, now I'm going to static time the number 1 cylinder to fire at top dead center, which is, I'm not going to have it off the BB. The BB is 2 degrees after top dead center, and I'm going to do it directly at top dead center. All right. So right now I've got an LED here. You may can see it glow. I'll make it glow. See it comes on. Maybe I'll slant that a little bit. There we go. All right, now when the points close, that LED will come on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the distributor to where the points close. All right. So all right, see the points are closed. All right, now I'm going to back off till that light goes barely off. There, all right. Now, the way the points type ignition works, when the points open is when the coil will fire. So you want to set the timing to where that set of points just barely opens. So I'm going to double check it again. I'm going to turn the distributor. Right there, okay. They're on. And right there. On, off. Right. So that's static timed right there to where it'll fire the number 1 cylinder. I'm not going to turn it down, and I'm going to cinch the distributor down at that point. All right. I need a bigger shot. Yes, I need a bigger shot. And a lift. There you go. Alright, I've about got it in position. I've got a few things I need to line up. I want to get the fender welt cut and massaged in there, and then we'll slide him in. All right, trying to get the final thrust of this in. Make sure we're not hitting the radiator. Before I go any further, I'm going to fit my fender weld. Well, I can still move stuff around. But anyway, we're almost there. Alright, moving along. I didn't show me filling the radiator, but I connected up the two heater hoses, the lower radiator hose and the upper radiator hose. And I put a bottle of this in there to, you know, based on the rust trail I seen when I drained out the block, and the fact that it's set for about 4 years since I've rebuilt it. And that I ran water in it when I was breaking it in instead of antifreeze. I'm sure I got rust in there, so I'm gonna run flush and just straight water through it for probably the first couple hours of running this thing, and I want to get it good and cleaned out. There's no possibility of frost for the next conceivable month or so, nor will there be any problem with it overheating. So anyway, well, there shouldn't be any problem with it overheating. So I'm going to move on and get the electrical situated. That cross piece to go over, and I'm going to tape it up. But I don't know if you can see down there, but we're not leaking. Got really, I mean, that fan is sitting exactly at the same position it was on the 216. So that 54 is definitely a direct bolt-in as far as the engine. Of course, the bell housing wasn't. Anyway, got the electrical here. I need to clean it up. See the hoses, the heater hose and the lower heater hose down there. They're all connected, and so far no leaks. And I put nearly 4 gallons of water in this thing. So that's because I had totally drained the block when I set it up after I broke it in, to try to minimize the rust. So anyway, we're moving on. All right, got the front clip wired in. I just didn't want to crawl underneath it today, and but we still got the original wiring over there. Cleaned up the harness going around it. And the original wiring going over there. Just slightly cleaned up. So anyway, moving along.